This to make it 28-3. Arthur Blank loving it. Up by 25. Toss to White. He's in! What a comeback!
All right, welcome to another episode of the 28-3 podcast. It is Victory Monday.
Damn right it is. What a hell of a win, man. The Saints pulled it out. Wasn't looking good, kind of like the Bucs game. First half, they struggled. The offense had a hard time, besides the one touchdown drive. Other than that, we're looking at, okay, well, we got our touchdown for the first half. We'll see if anything, matriculates in the second half. And, you just kind of had that. It's interesting, based on what Shough's done and what the offense has done late in games so far since he's been in, you just kind of had a feeling like, all right, we're not totally out, which is kind of strange having a 10-point deficit. But sure enough, we did what we had to do. And, I think, look, it's another example of what this offense can do. With him behind center, he still had, he still has his rookie moments. I think there's a couple sacks you wish.
Wait, is he actually a rookie?
He is a rookie unless you are going on the Nick Shea scale of NFL experience. In that case, I think Shough's in his third year now by Nick's count. But we get to bash on Nick because we didn't say yet, but he's not here. It's just Max and Corey, if you're listening, not watching. If you're watching, you can see it's just two of us. But we promise Nick's not, hiding right now.
He's going to jump out of the closet.
Even though he might want to be hiding because he hates Tyler Shough. But
don't start
not really.
These rumors.
We just give him a hard time. He's the low-key best Saints podcaster out there for a reason. So he does not hate Tyler Shough.
Well, hold on. He almost lost that title a week ago. Dan was going to strip it from him.
Oh yeah, because he's not getting on the Shough bus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
We got to check with Dan to see if Nick still has that title. Very prestigious title.
I think look, Nick has bought himself some time by not being here because I think that title, his maintenance of that title 100% hinges on what Nick says next.
Yeah.
So he's got some time to think about it. But
let's do this. Before we dive into the game itself, let's just go ahead and recap the picks. So you and I pick up a point for picking the Saints to win. Well done.
Boom. Let the record reflect.
But unfortunately,
we just fist bumped.
Nick is going to get 2 points because he correctly picked Tyler Shough and Chase Young. Neither one of us.
It's such a Nick move in this whole game we're playing with the standings that we're going to rework next year because it's clearly rigged for Nick. But it's such a Nick move to not pick the winner of the game but get both MVPs. Both offensive and defensive players of the game. I don't think either of us or any of the three of us have picked two players of the game so far this year.
We haven't. It's the first time it's happened.
And he's pulled it off, and just when we thought we had a chance to gain some ground in the standings.
Yeah, and
I don't even gain ground on you because we both picked the Saints to win.
Yeah, so
I mean, I'll take the win for the team, but
absolutely, I'm not worried about these standings.
Speak
relative to the Saints.
Says the guy who's not in last.
Well, I mean, you've been in last since we started this podcast, so you might as well,
Are you
keep the pace going.
Is that metaphorically speaking?
I mean, that's pretty realistic. No metaphors here, pal. It's the real deal. So the updated standings, Nick is in the lead with 16. I'm in second with 11.5. You are in third with 9. And then, more importantly, the momentum on Corey's locks took a little hit this week.
Yeah.
Another
one-score loss.
My sympathy for
the locks,
to Shane and Charles for.
Well, look, sympathy, but let's give a little
slow clap
for the guys who were willing to ride, and
they were braver men than I.
Apparently, the lock bus is not as dependable as the Shough bus.
Apparently not,
or at least this week it was not.
Well, just to recap it, you picked Shough over 202.5. You got that, the passing yards.
Cleared that hurdle by 70.
Yeah, and then you picked the over at 40.5.
Yeah, in hindsight, maybe that wasn't the right call. But look, I mean, we're 3.5, missed it by 3.5. Okay, the total 37 points scored in the game. And I was honestly, I mean, it was, look, fantastic theater to see Charlie Smyth hit the game winner the way he did, given a story, all that stuff. It's a damn Disney movie in the making, but or maybe like some other network, considering he's Irish, probably a lot of curse words in it. But yeah, I mean, I was kind of hoping the Saints might just like pop one in the end zone in that last drive. But obviously, I'm happy we got the win. But we were a touchdown. I mean, 3.5 points short. You're a touchdown away. I thought it was going to hit, like the way the Panthers were kind of moving it on our defense early. I thought it had the makings of looking like it, but as the first half continued on, when what was it, 7-7 at the end of the first half, or 10-7?
Yeah.
You know.
Well, so your season tally is you're at negative 280.14.
Okay.
So you've got 3 games left.
3 games left. So I can either go conservative to mitigate the damage, or, you know.
That's no fun, though.
Look, the last lock that I hit got us $100.
Right.
So, you know, 2.5 of those.
By us, you mean you, Shane, and Charlie.
Well, us in terms of our attempts to give $1 at least to Team Gleason, and then the other us. My faithful followers.
Well, look, here's the deal, though. The good news is you're going to be in the black no matter what. Because at $50 a pop, you can only lose $150 over the next 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So, bare minimum, you're donating some money.
That's true.
So, I think you got to go aggressive here and try to get in the build it up.
Okay.
That's how I would approach it. But again, you don't need to listen to me.
7-leg parlay incoming.
As Shane says, scared money don't make money.
This is true. We're gonna might need to have Shane call in for one of these, and you know, give some.
You're gonna get some inspiration on the next lock from Shane.
I think he's earned it. You know,
hey,
I think he's earned a little.
It is your segment. It is your lock. I'm not.
I mean, him and all the other Patreons at the right level that we're gonna get on soon enough here. Maybe once the final game clock hits 0, we'll start rolling in all of our loyal listeners.
We got a lot of fun stuff in store for the off season, I think. So,
yeah, might even be a big one.
Oh yeah, but oh man, I got to tell you that story I was talking to you about. So, fun little story from I guess it would have been Friday. So, had the delivery people coming to drop off a table.
Oh yeah.
So there's 2 of them, and you know, so I look outside, I see them both. You know, let the first guy in.
2 delivery guys.
That table's heavy.
Oh, like a furniture delivery. That wasn't like Amazon guy. Got it.
No. So the guy comes in, you know, he's like, hey, where's it going to go? I said, it's going to go right over here. He's like, all right, that's cool. You know, real nice guy, enthusiastic.
Okay.
His job, you know.
Sure.
Get a good vibe from him.
All right.
The next guy comes in, and he goes.
Are they with the same company?
Same company.
Okay.
And, you know, there's 2 of them. Big deal. Anyway, so the guy comes in, second guy comes in, and he goes, hey, so I'm looking at your license plate.
Which
the license plate says 28-3, much like the T-shirt that is
Louisiana
available
license
in the
plate,
shop.
28.
Louisiana license plate 28-3.
The number 2823. Yep.
2823. Compliments of Mr. Todd Newberg.
Yeah, he gave it up.
Gave it up. So anyway, so the guy's like, "What's the story? What's going on with it? Explain it to me like I'm 5 years old."
He had no idea.
This is where it gets funny. So I said, well, yeah, you know, the Falcons blew a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl. The other guy stops. Just stops what he's doing. He's just staring at me. He's like, you know what? I don't know if I want to do this delivery.
What?
I'm like, are you a Falcons fan?
Oh, my God.
He's like, yes.
What the hell?
Other guy, the second guy who was questioning about the license plate, starts laughing his ass off. I'm looking at him. I was like, you set him up for this, didn't you? He's like, absolutely. So the first guy's continuing on.
That is amazing.
You can tell it got to him. So he is just
that
looking
is
at
savage.
me.
Love
Man,
it.
He is like, I don't know if I can make this delivery. The second guy looks at him and goes, oh, don't worry. I'm going to make the delivery if you won't do it.
The table is already in the house at this point,
No. The table was not in the house.
Okay,
So let's just say he wasn't enthusiastic
That's
about
amazing.
completing the delivery. But
That's the thing. You know,
the second guy, to his credit, man, he knew this dude was a Falcons
sounds like
fan,
you set him,
was just
set him
digging
up
the
like a
knife in.
pro, too.
Oh, he set him up like a pro.
Like
he
if
was laughing his ass off the whole time.
Because you can usually, your bullshit meter is pretty good. So if someone's saying, can you please explain this to me? It sounds like you thought he legitimately had no idea.
Well, no, at first I'm like, look, you obviously live in the city. You know, maybe he, maybe it just went
maybe
over
he
his
needed
head.
a refresher.
Maybe he needed a refresher. But no, it turns out he knew clear as day what it meant.
Hell yeah.
He was just setting up his coworker.
Love it.
And man, the coworker was salty,
Seething.
So we start talking. We start talking ball at that point, and he's like, the Saints they're no good. I'm like, look, man, both teams suck. I said, but here's the deal. I was like, your coach, let's just say I hope he sticks around for a while. He goes, what are you talking about? He's a great coach. I'm like, okay.
So he's a fan of Raheem.
He's a fan of the Falcons. I got to give it to him. He was standing his ground.
See, that's the thing about, I've known a couple other Falcons fans in town.
I don't think I've ever met one.
One of the bigger,
like an actual Falcons fan who could actually tell you.
As a guy who spent 4 years in college at Georgia. But that's the thing. Even a lot of the guys that were from Atlanta that I was friends with weren't huge Falcons fans. They were more about
They're
more about the Braves, NASCAR, college football more than NFL.
Yeah. Well, look, I've got family in Atlanta. My cousin Saul and his family, and he could give a shit about the Falcons.
Now
he went to UGA like yourself, and
so
you Georgia guy, college football guy, but hates the Falcons.
One of the prominent criminal defense attorneys in New Orleans, John Fuller. I had a lot of cases with him back in my DA days, and he's a huge Falcons fan, and it's like
it pays money to go to the games.
He'll fly to the games.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but I bring up that point because, like your delivery guy, Falcons fans in this city cannot hide.
Yeah.
Some of them choose not to hide, but even if you choose not to hide, like you will be snuffed out. Just like you would have never known if that guy was a Falcons fan, but his own damn coworker, his
he outed him.
His delivery partner was like, oh well, this guy needs to be put on blast. So that one of the keep doing what you're doing, Saints fan. Shout out to Max's
Shout out
Furniture.
To that guy. Delivery driver guy. Number 2. I don't know their names. I should have gotten their names. And
it's like the credits in a movie. Delivery driver number 2.
Yeah. He was fantastic. Well done for setting his pal up for.
It's a good little spot of Saints Falcons hate / Christmas cheer. Just good to hear. It's
man,
out
it was
there.
great. It put me in such a good mood for the rest of the day.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
And then the Saints followed it up with a win. Yeah, it was a good weekend. It was a good start to the weekend.
That's smooth.
It was great.
Smooth delivery on the side of your delivery guy.
Yeah.
Sounds like his delivery was smooth.
My only...
Max, that's funny because it's a pun. And
my only regret was that it wasn't recorded. Alex had gone to the gym.
Could have been a little bit creepy, though.
Well, no, because she would have been there, right when all that would have been like, can I record this?
The best would have been if y'all had a Ring camera and that conversation happened in front of the Ring camera.
Yeah, the problem was it happened inside the house.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. Funny little story, and it got my weekend started off right and tight. So.
Nice.
Yeah. But anyway, back to the game. So I was telling Nick this via text yesterday. Like, that was the most fun I've had at a game in a while.
Yeah, I don't remember. I'd have to really think back to I didn't go to the Giants game this year, so I'd have to think back to the last.
Well, none of us did. We were all in Florida.
That's right. The last time I saw a Saints win in the Dome.
It's been a hot minute.
I don't know if I went to any last year where we won. Haven't been to one this year that we won besides this one. So it was just great to see a victory in the Dome. It was great to see a comeback victory. And, the crowd was – we talked about it.
The crowd was sparse.
Sparse is like putting it nicely.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing that the Superdome designers were apparently – they're ahead of their time in many respects, mostly the architecture. But whoever did the interior design is, why are the seats rainbow colored? Oh, so it looks like there's people in the stands when it's on TV. It's like, well, it doesn't do that. And if you have to get to the point where you're relying on the colors of your seat cushions to make it look like there's people, which we were very much at that point on Sunday, then that's not a good thing. And but
They almost need these cushions that could change colors.
I mean,
for a team.
I don't know.
You know what I mean? 'Cause there were a decent amount of Panthers fans around us.
There were decent.
Even they were subdued. They weren't even.
There were you could hear a couple of keep poundings going on, and that just annoyed me because I'm like, out of all fan bases, like I get it if the Steelers show up and there's terrible towels everywhere. The Seahawks brought a huge presence the last time they were here. The Niners fans, obviously, and they historically do
Steelers
travel
real well.
All those teams tend to travel well, but it's like the Panthers, like really, like we're letting that fan base in. The fact that you could even hear keep pounding, make it out was kind of infuriating, and I'm glad we kind of silenced that for the most part. But
I'll be honest, I didn't hear it at all.
Maybe
I'm at ground zero of the opposing team because my seats get sold a lot to people around me. So
yeah, I'm surprised you couldn't. I mean, it wasn't like deafening by any stretch.
Corey,
but
they were subdued.
No, they weren't.
The Panthers fans around us, they were just everybody was just kind of in this. It's like they knew, they're like, you know what, we might win the division, but I mean, we're gonna get bounced in the first round. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it's just a formality.
But look, I will say for the Saints fans that were there, we did a good job making some noise towards the end. I mean, when
we were bringing it, man.
When the crowd got into it, it didn't feel like it was as empty at the end of the game. Now, the first part of the game, first half, definitely was like 9:30 mass.
I'll say this: the fans who were there were bringing it. Yeah. They were interested. They were into it. It wasn't like nobody was mailing it in. It wasn't a mail-in performance.
There's a group of like 4 dudes sitting to my left from Oak Grove.
Oh yeah, you had the good seats up in club.
Another shout out to Zach.
307. 307. That's right.
Another shout out to Zach. They were awesome seats and awesome game to be at. There are 4 dudes to my left who say they come in for one game a year, probably in like mid-20s. Mid to late 20s, just a group of bros, but they're from nice guys though, but from Oak Grove, and they're like, yeah, I think the closest town to us is Monroe, and that's what he said at first. I'm like, well, tell me the town you're really from. He's like, Oak Grove, and I think Lizzie knew about it somehow, but I'd never been anywhere near Oak Grove.
I mean, Lizzie's family is apparently massive.
Yeah, they're international, but so it was cool, but they were getting super hyped, super into it. There was some Panthers fan like 5 rows behind us who was just like decked out. It wasn't the dude that did the music video, but it could have been. Like he was just as enthusiastic. He had like a full-on Panthers colored suit. Like where looks like the paint's been thrown all over a suit kind of thing.
Yeah, I think I saw that guy.
One of those like Panther Santa hat. He had blue light up shoes on, and he wouldn't shut up the whole game. I could just hear him shouting every damn play. But it was also funny because like when Canales decided to throw the ball with like 20 seconds left before the 2-minute warning, like they could have ran one play in the fourth quarter, but they got the ball with like 2:20 something. They could have ran one play and basically had second down after the 2-minute warning, but he started throwing the ball.
Yeah,
this guy's like, run the damn ball, run the damn ball. It's like felt like Apollo Creed and Rocky. Throw the damn towel. Throw the damn towel.
That wasn't Apollo Creed. That was Duke.
Oh, you're right.
Apollo was
fighting.
Apollo was dying.
Apollo could not say throw the towel. You're right.
Yeah, he was getting killed by Drago.
The Apollo Creed scene, I should say.
Yeah,
his final scene.
That was re-released in the theaters a couple weeks ago. When
someone told me this. Someone told me this.
Stallone cut, man. You missed out.
I know. But
you and little bro.
Yeah. But look, but yeah, it was just awesome to see the comeback. And look, I thought that the 4-minute offense that we ran to get the equalizer, as our Brits would like to say, to make it 17-17, I thought Shough was cooking. I didn't watch the broadcast, but one of the highlights I saw was RG3 said like, yeah, he's in a flow state right now, and apparently most of the stuff RG3 said was stupid.
Imagine that.
Yeah, but that checks out because he really did just look like he was just doing his thing, like just taking it naturally, taking what the defense gives him, zipping it in there when he had to, and it was just he just looked comfortable, just doing what he seemed most comfortable this year when it's a 2-minute drive situation, when they're running the hurry up. It's not as much of like pressing to get the play exactly right. He's just playing football.
Yeah, it's kind of a shame because both of us were at the game, so we really don't get the true experience of seeing the plays, as well as you would if you're watching it on TV. And I think Nick actually didn't get to watch all of it.
Yeah,
I'm sure he went back and caught it on, whatever streaming service after, because he's out of town for work. But yeah, man, it's kind of hard to offer any real, I guess, concrete analysis on what we saw. I can't see shit from my seats unless they're right in front of me. So
I mean, I could see.
I'll just say the vibes were good, and it felt good. It was weird. It had like the zero stress factor of like a preseason game, but
you don't go to preseason games.
No, I know, but like even when you're watching one at home, you're just like, yeah, whatever.
Okay.
Whatever happens doesn't really matter. But it just, I don't know, man. It just there was good energy.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna be pissed,
And Tyler Shough is fantastic in the red zone. I was looking at some stats on that.
Yeah,
he's fucking lights out, man.
I didn't see those exact stats. I did like the stat that he has as many wins against a team with a winning record as Derek Carr had during his tenure.
Yeah.
Because I thought about that too. I'm like, we just won. Not only did we just win back-to-back games, but we won back-to-back games against teams with winning records, and that was DA's Achilles heel, even Carr's Achilles heel. We kept even the people who were just outright defenders of DA and or Carr before the wheels really came off. They would say, no, we got the talent. Carr. We would say, look, Carr's not the problem, and but every time we went up against a team that actually had a winning record, a team that was looking to make the playoffs, we couldn't pull it out. We only beat the bad teams, and I'm not saying Bucks and Panthers are world beaters by any stretch, but
division leaders.
They were each in the top of the division when we played them. They each had a winning record, and simply put, those were not the teams that we could beat. We did not beat those teams when we had DA and Carr. Fast forward.
Well,
now, does that mean Kellen Moore and Shough are the answer? I'm not saying that long term. They very well could be. They've at least started the conversation, but at least it's something. Again, we said beginning of the season, we just want to see something different in a positive way. This is something different that's also a positive than what we've seen past 2 years.
Yeah, and also keep in mind, we talked about this all season. In the NFL these days, anybody can beat anybody because there are no truly great teams.
Yeah.
And the team that I think is probably the best team from top to bottom is the Rams. And this Panthers team that we just swept beat the Rams just a few weeks ago.
Kind of mind-boggling.
Yeah, it's this season has trended. It's finishing up the exact way I was hoping it would. I think a lot of us were thinking, hey, there's a good chance we're going to have a high draft pick this year. You start getting excited about potentially having the first pick or whatever. Obviously, that's out the window, but this is a much better alternative to that.
Yeah.
And then, so you see, we start off poorly, but now we're on a little bit of a run. Shough's 3-3 as a starter, which think if Olave makes that catch a couple of weeks ago in Miami.
Yeah.
That's
a game winner.
There's a case that Shough should be 4-2 as a starter with this ragtag group of people on offense. We're down to, people were talking about how like Rattler last year, we never got to see him with Olave, with Shaheed, any of that stuff. He got games with him at the beginning of the year.
With the first
Shough
point
gets
of
into
defense.
the lineup, and then all of a sudden, we trade Shaheed.
Yeah.
We cut Cooks. Olave hasn't been at his best.
It's almost like Kellen Moore was playing Miyagi with Danielson and just kept making shit harder for the protege. It's like every week it's like, oh, you think you're good with Shaheed? We're gonna get rid of Shaheed.
Yeah.
You think
so? Look, man, it's impressive, and we've got people in the Discord who have been all in for a few weeks. On Shough. And I'm not all in, but I'm very excited about what he potentially could be.
Yeah, I like the fact that, put it this way, if we're talking, the last people we've had at quarterback, whether it's Rattler,
there's hope at quarterback, which there hasn't been in 5 years.
Yeah, the first line of excuse for either whether it was Rattler or Carr was, oh, they're not playing with all the guys. Like when Olave was injured with Carr, when the O-line was injured, same with Rattler. But with Shough, it's like he's doing it regardless of who's in there. He's just playing. He did a good job yesterday, and I'm not saying all of his games have been this way. He had a bad pick. Was it the first Panthers game? One of them where he telegraphed the throw and the guy just picked it off. So he's had his bad moments. He's taken sacks he definitely shouldn't have taken, for sure. Or he's had times where he decides to run too early and there was a guy open downfield. He's had all those moments, but when it mattered yesterday, he stayed within the game. He was decisive. And even that I didn't have time to text to the Discord, but the touchdown pass to Olave was a bullet. Yeah. I mean, that was a missile. Apparently, Tom Brady said it on the broadcast, not about Shough, but he used the term piss missile. Just said it on Fox, apparently, which is hilarious. But there was a piss missile from Shough. I mean, J.C. Horn didn't really have a chance to even get it. He was close, but it was just coming in too quick. And
look, he is as talented as any quarterback who has come out, last year or is coming out this year.
Yeah, and once I mean, it's
pure talent-wise.
Sky's the limit is kind of cliche, but the reality is, if he can really master, the ideal would be he continues to progress. Kellen Moore doesn't really go anywhere. We improve the interior of the offensive line because that was a problem yesterday.
It's been a problem
and continued to be a problem yesterday. But the more comfortable Shough gets with changing out, sliding his protection. I mean, it's not that he doesn't do it now, but he can do it more. He can get more into the nuances. Hopefully,
that will come with experience.
That's what I'm saying. So, the more experience he gets, if he can just continue the progression and not regress, then it really could be. We could have something long term. Now, I will say, you said you're not sold on Shough, but
no. But I'm not all in.
Not all in
buying. I'm not buying his tickets to his Hall of Fame induction.
Correct.
In 20 years,
and I don't think anybody's asking you to. But I will say, are you?
I'm very excited to see what he can do in 2026.
Are you all in on? Yeah, you're all in on him being the QB next year.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
because I've been at that point because I resigned myself to that at the beginning of the season before we had even seen him. I said I don't think there's any scenario where the Saints aren't rolling with Shough in 2026. I've said that multiple times.
That was kind of the first door to open, the first threshold to cross. Once he came in, once it was like, all right, we're rolling with Shough, the first threshold to cross was, is he going to play well enough to convince the front office, to convince Kellen Moore that, okay, we do not have to go draft a quarterback.
He's already shown enough that you don't. He's the quarterback next year. There's no second thought about it.
Do you have an opinion on how long of a leash he gets? Is it only next year? Got to see how he plays next year versus give him 2 years?
No one's going to give him 2 years. You just say it's just a year-to-year thing. It's like any other position. You never know when somebody. There's plenty of examples. RG3 is a primary example. Had a fantastic rookie year.
Right.
And he was out the damn league in 2 years after that, 3 years after that. So you just don't know what's going to happen from year to year. So you can't promise somebody more than a year. So to me, Shough he's already absolutely earned the right to be the quarterback in 2026.
Besides,
now 2027, let's see how he does in 2026.
Besides, for the remainder of this year. Besides having,
I don't need to see anything else
the worst game you could think of. Is there anything you can do to?
There's nothing I could see in the next 3 weeks that would tell me he doesn't need to be the quarterback in 2026.
Yeah, we've already kind of effed up any chance of drafting a decent one anyway.
And look, I'm going to go ahead and spoil my picks for the next 3. I will pick the Saints the next 3 weeks to win. Just in case you were hoping to try to do the opposite of what I'm doing to try to gain a point on me. I am picking the Saints the next 3 weeks. And you and I picked them this past week in their hardest game that was left on the schedule. So,
yeah. Well, bad teams do what you don't expect them to do. So, it's...
And look, that's fine. If they lose a game, big fucking deal. We'll get a better pick.
Right. Oh, yeah. Well, I just want to... Yeah, the biggest position that...
My thing is just hopefully stay healthy.
Yeah, and
because that was always the biggest concern, aside from his age.
Yeah,
was always the health because of the multiple injuries he suffered in college. So to me, it's the number one thing: prove that you could stay healthy.
Yeah. So we could talk about Shough obviously a lot. He is the most important position.
Well, we should. It's the biggest story associated with this team.
So it's all
of a sudden we went from no hope. Watching Carr and Rattler, last year, watching Rattler this year, there was no hope attached to either of them. You know what I
Right.
mean? Because Carr, he's getting up there in age, and he's capped out at what he was. Now, he was a good enough quarterback to get a team to the playoffs if the surrounding cast was good enough. Rattler didn't show us a damn thing last year. Rattler this year looked like a different quarterback than he did last year. You know, he showed lots of improvements from the 2025 season and showed that he has a future in the NFL as a viable backup, at the least, for the next 10 years.
Look, I'm glad we got to see.
But this is actual legit hope with Shough, because there were plays like, you know, we talked about it in the preview episode. We talked about it in just about every episode since, because we've been harping on, you know, Shough needs to play. Nick and I have been consistent in that pretty much the whole year. Like, fucking play him to see what we have.
And look, it's good for us.
But here's the thing. So I kept saying I need to see flashes, and I couldn't tell you what the flashes were, but I would know it when I see them. And we're seeing them.
Yeah.
Like the touchdown runs last week, the second one especially. That is a massive flash.
2 10-plus yard rushing touchdowns are one.
There was a throw yesterday that looked remarkably similar to the one at the Combine that everyone liked to make fun of.
Yep.
Now, people also like to gloss over the fact that he completed one of those in college, and it's a fucking incredible throw when you see the
one
replay.
Against Notre Dame back of the end zone.
Yeah, so he did it again yesterday.
Yep.
And there's a clip floating around, and it is a fucking gorgeous throw. That's a flash.
I couldn't tell from my vantage point that he did that, right? And it wasn't until
I didn't see it until I got home.
It wasn't until after. I remember the play thinking, okay, nice. Like, I was even saying, you got tipped in, and then he throws to Olave, and I'm like, okay, we'll take it.
Yeah.
No idea that he had to off-platform it.
It looked like one of those Mahomes throws. You see.
Yeah. And,
where, you know, the body's going one direction, but the arm is going a different.
It was rolling left, and
across the body, unbelievable throw.
The ball came out towards his right.
But to go back to what I was saying, like, that's a flash. The rushing touchdown on the broken play last week, that's a flash. You know, we're seeing these plays, like even the deep ball to Olave that could have been the game winner in Miami. Yeah, that's a flash. That's a fucking great throw.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're seeing every week there's flash plays. He's flashing. Or splash plays, whatever you want to call it. You're seeing these plays happen, and we did not see that with Rattler at all. And I don't want to keep fucking shitting on Rattler.
No, but it's
done. That whole debate's done.
It's the control.
He is a backup.
It's the control group. It's the only other QB that's played with this coach.
Right. Now, look, with Carr, we got to see, there were some flash plays with Carr. You know, you saw him hit Shaheed on some deep ones, and he made a few throws that were, holy shit, that's an incredible throw. But it's a lot more exciting when you see a rookie do it, because he is a rookie, and he's still learning, and he's going to develop, and with more coaching, you know, maybe he takes that big step. Right. Hopefully he takes that step. Like, we're seeing Drake May take the step right now.
Right.
You know, to where he looks fantastic. And if we can get a fraction of that step next year from Shough, then I'll be all in.
Yeah, I mean,
at that point.
You got to think he can only get better. He should only get better with an entire offseason to do it.
But I think an entire offseason of coaching, you know.
Yeah, but I think there's two things too about, you know, you want to see the flashes of the physical talent, because you know what you're talking about.
We're seeing that. Oh, that's all over the
what
game.
You were just talking about. That's definitely flashes of his arm talent, his you know, uncoachable traits to get creative, throw it off platform. But the other thing I think you have to see in a rookie QB, which I do think we've seen, or at least seen enough of, considering where he is in his career, how many starts he has, is his recognition of coverage, his development of what a QB needs to know between the ears, and then be decisive about. Whether it's, you want to see him going through his progressions more. I think he has done that. I think there were more plays yesterday that came from within the pocket. He didn't bail out maybe as many times. He had to bail out a couple times, but he didn't like bail out automatically like maybe he did in the Rams game or the first Panthers game. He stayed in the pocket, took what was there, and he's also getting better, I think, or he's shown the ability to recognize when he has a one-on-one. And we've seen that happen with Olave a few times. And so the touchdown with J.C. Horn in coverage was him recognizing, all right, I really do have Olave one-on-one here. Because for a lot of the game, it was like Olave was kind of non-existent. And I picked him to be my offensive player of the game. So I'm like, what the hell, Chris? I had my faith in you. And it really was like he was being bracketed a lot of the game. Yeah. And so when it opened up on that one play where he was truly one-on-one with a end zone shot, he hit it. And, that's great to see out of a rookie. Because he had the confidence that, some other QBs that didn't have the same confidence might think, oh, that's cornerback number one. He's covered. He's in phase with Olave. But Chuck was like, trust my receiver. I'm going to put it on the spot it needs to be put. And it was a success, Yeah,
so. And I'm going to say this. I've said this. I said this once before. I don't remember when it was. But if I'm the Saints front office, I'm trading Rattler once the offseason hits. And here's why. His value is never going to be higher than it is because he showed that he can play in the NFL.
He did what he had to do yesterday.
I think Kansas City right now would be thrilled to have Rattler with Mahomes having a torn ACL. Yeah. Like somebody who can execute, a game plan, and he's not going to go out there and set the world on fire. But at the same point, he can be that safe, conservative option. Yeah. So to me, his value is not going to be higher than it is right now. I trade him, try to get like a 4th-round pick.
He could be.
But here's why I do this. I also go get a quarterback who is on the tail end of their career, someone like an Andy Dalton, someone like that type. I get someone like that. I put them in the room with Shough. Someone who's not like, hey, I'm still a viable starter. It's someone who's like, you know what? I'm kind of fine being a mentor figure to a younger QB. Get someone like that in the room, and then that's another coaching voice, another sounding board for him to learn from.
Phillip Rivers.
No, it's funny. Phillip Rivers is actually still a starter right now.
It's funny because the first person I thought of that would not be good for that is Derek Carr. His. Well,
yeah, but attitude. Carr was still a starter. He's not on the tail. He wasn't on the tail end of his career.
Yeah,
I wouldn't expect Carr to be that guy.
Yeah, there's probably a few I'm just not thinking of, but no, that would be ideal. Kind of like when Breeze had Brunell. Super Bowl year.
Or somebody like a Tyrod Taylor or the McCowns were when they were playing.
Yeah.
Just someone like that. Someone, who's not, maybe they've never been a frontline starter, but someone who's been in an NFL locker room for, 10, 12 years and can be that extra voice or sounding board where it's like, hey, when you've seen this, how was this handled? And they can say, you know what? I didn't have this happen to me personally, but when I was in a locker room with Drew Brees, this is how he handled it. And it's just little things like that. Because the other thing is, we don't need the first time Shough has a bad game, the Rattler cult is going to come out of the fucking woodwork.
Yeah,
just be free of that.
I don't know. I think we're getting further away.
Well, no, there are 2 players that for whatever reason have this just fucking cultish following. One is Rattler, one is Shedeur Sanders.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Shedeur Sanders yesterday, 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions.
Yeah.
He's not good. Let's just be real. They're not going to roll with him as a starter in 2026. They will be drafting a quarterback or they will be trading up to get a quarterback either in 2026 or 2027.
The nicest you could put it for Shedeur is he's got a long way to go.
Yeah, but the reality is he has this fucking cult of fans. They're worse than the Rattler people.
It's the people that don't want to critically think about their opinion. Having an opinion is one thing, but having an opinion without considering the possibility that you might be wrong is another.
Yeah.
And that's usually where your cult stands come from and stuff like that. And so have an opinion, of course.
Oh, absolutely. And look, but opinions can change.
Yeah, also think of the possibility that your opinion might have some holes in it.
And look, here's the deal. A
lot of mine certainly have always had holes in them.
Here's the deal. None of us were, and this is full transparency, none of us were super excited about the Shough pick at 40.
No.
None of us were.
Yeah, but we could see some reason.
No, we could see the reason why they did it, but at the same point, we didn't want it. None of us were draft him at 40.
We were thinking of Will Johnson, other people that were there that could have an immediate impact.
Right. So, but again, look, the way it's trending right now, I got no problem saying.
Certainly can't say that Shuck's not having an immediate impact.
I have no problem saying, if he keeps progressing the way he is, I have no problem saying, I was dead wrong on that. And I'm happy as hell that he's performing.
Yeah, I mean, I knew what was going on. Like I
Just be happy when your team does something that works out.
I wasn't excited about the pick. I wasn't mad about the pick either. I was just kind of like, it was just all right. It's expected.
It's not what I would have done.
Yeah.
But I also think that was a lot of Kellen Moore probably watched tape and, it's like, oh, well, I got to get somebody else in the room because, his rat look doesn't look like he has it.
I didn't even think about it till, I didn't, totally deep dive on the feed, or I was specifically looking at highlight videos. But when Dan shared his tweet, I don't know if it was him or from this Saint City and Me account, but if Freaky Peasy, photoshopped his Freaky Peasy's Twitter logo over the guy that kept pulling out the CVS receipt.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, is Peasy calling people out right now? And I went and I saw how many.
I'm actually looking at his page right now.
I didn't have time to I had to quit. He had so many. I was like,
well, the reason I was
looking,
I'm on his feed right now because I was trying to pull up the stats in the red zone that I was telling you about with Shough, because he had retweeted Budwich, who's a big Saints Happy Hour guy. So Tyler Shough now in the red zone on the season is 9 of 12, 82 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 132.6 passer rating, 20 carries, 34 yards, touchdown. So that's his red zone numbers, and those numbers are pretty damn good. Shout out to Budrich for pulling those stats together, but that's fantastic.
If you told someone before Shough took a snap this season and you were like, just make up the best sounding red zone numbers.
Yeah.
I don't know if you would even make those up. Before he took his first snap, those sound too good to even be believed.
Yeah.
For a rookie. For a third-year guy, as Nick would say.
Well, let's look at this. So the draft pick, we've talked about draft positioning all season long, and that's it. Fuck the picks. Get the QB.
Shuck.
The QB, if the QB is going to be the guy, then
Jono put it out there.
Fuck the picks.
Shuck them picks.
Yeah. So looking at the draft order right now, so we are currently slotted to pick 7th. So the teams that are ahead of us are going to stay ahead of us because it's the Giants, the Raiders, the Titans all only have 2 wins. The Browns, the Jets, the Cardinals have 3. Now, we play the Jets and we play the Titans. Gotta think, so the Jets just fired their defensive coordinator because they don't have a single interception this year. So I'm sure that's going to somehow come.
They got no picks?
No picks this year.
Good
So I'm sure that's going to come back to.
And their head coach is a DB?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Well,
that's
the defensive coordinator is a former interim head coach with the Panthers, Wilkes.
Oh, yeah.
That's who they just fired. So realistically, those 6 teams are going to stay ahead of us unless something unforeseen happens.
Let the Jets beat us.
Yeah. But even then, man, the Jets are
for
bad.
One pick to go
Jets
from.
are bad. Washington just shut down Jaden Daniels for the season, so they're rolling with Mariota. They're sitting there at 4 wins. The Bengals have Joe Burrow back, so you gotta think they squeak out another win or 2, but they haven't looked great. They're sitting there with 4 wins with us.
Yeah.
So
you're talking about at max 1 draft spot, 6.
Well, hold on. This is where I'm going with this. So right now, the Falcons, or I should say the Rams by way of the Falcons, are slotted to pick 10th. The Falcons are 5-9, so they're a game ahead of us, but we play them. So I don't know how the tiebreaker would work if we split with them.
Yeah, I don't know.
But Atlanta doesn't. I say this as they just beat the Bucs. Maybe Cousins gets them on a little run, but we'll see. The Chiefs. Not doing great with Mahomes. Now missing Mahomes. I don't even know who their backup is.
Where are the Chiefs slotted right now?
11th.
That is crazy.
6-8.
They could be picking top 10.
There's a world where we get
insane.
behind the Chiefs in the draft order. Think about that for a second.
That would be depressing.
Minnesota is at 6-8. Now, Minnesota's looked good the last couple of weeks, so you got to think maybe they get another win or 2. So realistically, I don't see us Miami 6-7.
The lowest we'll pick is what's Miami?
6-7. So they play tonight, I guess. I don't think. I think the sweet spot for us is 10. I feel like we're going to end up picking 10th, which is fine because.
So we're 5 right now.
We're 7.
7.
We went from 2 to 7 in 2 weeks. So
it's not much. Not much would have to, because you got to figure.
Well, what I like is if you get so realistically, you're in that.
It'd be surprising if we don't win at least one of the next 3 games. So
I think we win at least 2, and I think we win there's a case that there's a chance we win all 3 of them.
That'd be crazy.
At which point, Shough all of a sudden is 6-3 as a starter.
I mean,
with the possibility, with the I guess he could have been 7-2, which is fucking ridiculous. But that being said, if you're picking 9, 10, 11 in that range, that opens up some interesting scenarios. Because
Love.
I think that's kind of where it's not as.
Man, Nick is going to be so pissed.
Nick will lose his mind if we pick.
He's going to have a
hate it.
fourth-year, second-year quarterback and a running back in the first round. Nick's going to lose his mind.
But Caleb Downs.
Yeah.
Look, if you go off of pure talent and you take away the positional bias that is associated with safeties, Caleb Downs is one of the 3 best players in this draft.
He's really good.
So
really good.
I would have no problem taking him at 9, 10, 11.
He'd be a tough sell at top 5.
Top 5, you're overdrafting him.
He'd be a tough sell at
safety.
It'd be like, okay, if you draft him at 7. But look, I think if you get down to like 9, 10, 11, you're gonna get to a point where you can legitimately ask, like, say we draft him, it's like, all right, well, who else would you really have taken that would have been worlds better or would have like significantly helped your cause? To me, I would say if Jeremiah Love was there, I think he'd have more of an impact on the team as a whole. But obviously there's those like Nick who would say, yeah, like,
it's not the smart move,
it's not
team building wise.
Right. So,
and he is correct in saying that. That being said, I will throw the book out the window if we and go buy a Jeremiah Love jersey the second it happens.
At some point you need to make an evaluation. Like you need to get better at the running back spot. Even if
we're atrocious.
Even if Kamara could come back and be the healthiest he could be at this point in his career.
Ship has sailed. He's
that's what I'm saying. You still don't have the horses you need in that room. And so it comes down,
you can't depend on.
It comes down to, all right, you can either bring in free agents, like when you look across the board between free agents, the first round caliber running backs, the second, third round caliber running backs, what are you trying to accomplish? Because I think you have to make up for the deficiencies in your offensive line at some point with your ball carriers. There's some ball carriers who can create their own lanes, who can overcome a bad offensive line better than some. So like, it's like if you're usually teams that believe they can have success with fourth or fifth round running back are the ones who already have a pretty decent offensive line, where it's like the holes will be there, just run through them. That's not us. So we have to have somebody who can make his own hay, like get some yards on his own, find holes that aren't there. Because unless we do some serious improving to both guard positions,
you got to think they're going to
sign.
They might do. Look, so the Bears this past year, Ben Johnson overhauled the entire offensive line.
Yeah.
So the Saints, to me, you've got to upgrade both guard spots.
And you got
to pray that Eric McCoy can stay healthy.
Well, I was going to say you
can't move on from his contract.
You got to have a succession plan for McCoy because he's showing that he's starting to get hurt more, and
you got to draft a center.
Fortner
ain't
at
some point.
2 false starts in the center yesterday was just infuriating.
Yeah.
I'm sure they were being picky. I know that the rest were way too flag happy yesterday. That crew was just insane. But if you're the center, man, like everything starts with you. You've got to have your shit down.
Well, let me say this. So as far as the draft pick goes, obviously, you don't want to be in a scenario where you end up with the first pick, but it's a really nice consolation prize. That's out the window, which is fine. Now, I don't want to be in the top 10 with a draft pick because I look at the people in this draft, and there are no, as of now, there are no players that just jump off that, they scream out like, I'm an elite player at my position.
I'm a top 10 draft pick.
There's a lot of guys who I'm fine picking at like 9, 10, 11 that I'd be like, I don't know if I'd want to spend like 4, 5, or 6 on them.
Is it somehow shaping up to be a worse a worse version than last year's draft. Remember last year we kind of all had the consensus that once you get to like pick 5, 6, maybe even 7, and I'm not trying to do a 6-7 joke. I did that earlier and you totally missed it. But
yeah, I don't know.
It's like the blue boo boo. We'll get you into that.
You don't need to teach. It'll be over with before.
It's actually hard to teach. It doesn't really mean anything.
I don't care to learn it.
Ask Dan. He's a fan.
Dan's like a 15-year-old in a 40-something-year-old's body. He's still up on all the trends.
To his defense, he kind of lives with the average of that.
Yeah.
But like last year's draft, once you got past the threshold, we said every first round pick's the same. From like 7 to 23, they're kind of all the same. So if it's like that, then yeah, I guess I could see that because if you're stuck with the 8th pick, Loomis is about as
the 3 guys to me that look special.
Like Loomis ain't gonna find any trade partners.
The 3 guys to me that look special, in no particular order: Jeremiah Love, Caleb Downs, Arvell Reese. Those are the 3 to me that look like they are by far the best player at their respective position. And I would use Arvell Reese though.
The 3 guys.
He's an off-ball linebacker, and they're projecting him as an edge in the NFL. Like a Micah Parsons type.
I think Staley could do some.
I think in our defense he could be a lot of fun because Staley could use a movable chess piece, kind of move him around.
I mean, you've seen Staley put.
See, I'd be fine picking him in the top 5.
He's like a Chris Rumpf on steroids because Staley's been putting Chris Rumpf in a lot, and Rumpf is only like 242.
I'd be thrilled with Arvell Reese. The problem is, where we are now, he's probably not going to be there. So that ship has probably sailed.
Yeah.
But then the other 2 is Jeremiah Love, Caleb Downs. Positional value, they get bumped down a few notches to where 9, 10, 11, 12, that's kind of the sweet spot to where you can make a case to pick running back and safety.
I think Love, I'm not about to say Love is better than Genty, but when you look at the 2, Love seems more tailor-made for the pros than Genty does to me. I think just like the build, he's a little bit taller. He's
leaner.
He seems more built for what offenses ask from running backs these days.
His style of play is a little more similar to like a Jahmyr Gibbs, or going back further, like a Reggie Bush.
Yeah,
Bush has been a comp that I've seen thrown around a decent amount, and it does make sense because it's explosive. I mean,
at some points,
capability and great hands.
If you've
Genty is not that type though. Genty is more.
He's the bell cow.
He's a bell cow.
He's the guy who needed to go. To Nick's credit, he needed to go to a team that had a pretty damn good offensive line already. Whereas Jeremiah Love can get to the edge. You can put him out in space. I mean, I would love to see what Kellen Moore could do with a guy like that. And at some point, you just have to say, like, we need as much talent in the backfield. I mean, like, what good is it to have an offensive line that can run block if you got shit back there?
Yeah.
You got to have, like you said, juice. You got to have juice. He's a big old can of juice. I mean, he has a lot of juice, but he's also polished as well. He's got reps. He's got snaps.
I'm just saying it right now. If we're picking 10 or lower, he's going to be at the top of my list because I know Arvell Reese realistically will not be there. Now, again, Marshawn Lattimore, no one thought he would be there when we picked.
But here's the thing: like we can't draft O-line again because
I saw someone mocked us.
Field
Noah from Miami.
Yeah, Field Yates just like
people got all up in arms.
Sent who that Twitter into a freaking knip shit.
Yeah, I mean,
it was like, did you not even look at the team? And his whole premise was that you move Wage into guard.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. So Mawanoa, they are most analysts are projecting him to slide inside the guard. So I don't.
It's like,
and there was talk about Kelvin Banks sliding inside the guard when he was getting drafted.
If you have the whole thing, it's like you could say, well, you're not drafting a guard, you're drafting a tackle. But if you draft a tackle to make any one of your 3 first-round tackles a guard, then you've drafted a guard.
Yes.
It's the same thing. So,
Correct.
like, let's not do that. But
let's stop moving people. How about that?
God damn, it'd be nice.
Let's draft a center that plays center.
That's such a DA
thing
to do.
Let's draft a running back that plays running back. We don't need to try to reinvent the wheel and take people out of their natural
we
positions.
don't need Adam Schefter coming on like sources out of New Orleans tell us that Jeremiah Love is actually slotted to play slot receiver.
Like the Jags did that shit with Urban Meyer and ETN.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, he's going to get a lot of snaps at receiver. It's like, why? He didn't show any of this in college that he was a wide receiver. Like, let him be a running back.
Etienne knocked me out of the playoffs yesterday, so they did something right with him.
Etienne.
Etienne.
There you go. Look
Is
at
it
you.
okay, John?
Look at you.
Yeah, Boots? You go to Boots Grocery?
Yeah. Lizzie's family
seen
got
that
you
video?
working on that?
There's a video out there. It's really funny. Like one of the first YouTube videos ever.
No, I probably
They
haven't
call
seen
it's called the Cajun OnStar. The bunch of dudes from ULL called OnStar and used Cajun voices to make OnStar. I think it was Lost. It was hilarious. Hilarious. We so lost.
it. Yeah.
Anyway,
But
but the only other takeaways from yesterday, we desperately need help in the interior offensive line.
Well, Vele got hurt, so the receiver position is still looking
have you heard
as thin
anything
as
about
ever.
Vele?
I haven't seen anything. So.
And then what
He's
were
been promising, man.
the defense holding them for almost an entire half of football to 0 points, like 17. Did you have any thoughts on defense? We didn't really talk about them at all.
No, I mean, look, I'll be honest with you. When I go to games, it's hard to see what's going on. You know,
Yeah.
This is why usually when I go to games, you and Nick watch it on TV.
Yeah.
So you guys can offer a lot more insight that I can't. I can just give you guys like, hey, the crowd was hype or the crowd was flat, and it's just hard to see and give a good.
Yeah.
I know Chase Young played well.
He played. There were a couple times where you would want to see him and or Grando be more in control when they're getting home, but at least they're getting back there.
Yeah.
They had a couple of flybys, buzzing the tower, Top Gun style, but I do think
Look at you with a movie reference.
the ones I've seen, I can do it. It's just
We gotta
not that
get
many.
you on. Yeah. It's disappointing.
But I think Rico Dowdle, like, he definitely was healthier than he was in the first game. It struck me more of like a slow start, you would call it, from the defense, but more of a bend but don't break. Did you at least see that from your seats?
Yeah, look, the defense played well. You know, Bryce had a decent amount of yardage on scrambles. But when you take that out of the equation, the running game, we slowed down the running game pretty well.
Yeah, Quincy Riley let the one by him.
Something with his visor, right? Didn't he have to change his visor?
Did he? I didn't see that.
One of the defensive backs, whoever got beat for the long play, they changed their,
the touchdown.
Something with the visor, kind of. Yeah.
There was glare on the lights. I was surprised. It looked like he was perfectly in phase with the receiver and his coker. It's like their third guy.
Another rookie. It's going to happen.
But look,
get that shit out the system now, and then take your next step forward.
Yeah, I mean, but to Bryce's credit, he threw a dime on that pass, and
Quincy Riley's old for a rookie, though. We might have to consider him a second or third year guy. Like
another old guy from Louisville, huh?
Yeah, I think he's 24 already.
God, how many third-year guys did we draft this year?
I mean, look at Vele. Vele's a 10-year veteran as a second-year player.
Nick's about to start getting some medical supply sale literature sent their way. You know, shit's going to start breaking on the insides.
Send them some hospice notes.
Whoa,
old folks' homes.
That's pretty grim.
Yeah, I meant old folks' homes. I didn't mean to go there.
Grim Reaper, Darth Saint coming in.
Jesus, yeah.
Send him hospice notes.
But yeah, man. No, overall, look, extremely enjoyable game.
And shout out to the Irishman. I mean,
hell yeah.
He kicked the shit out of that ball.
You know, so that was the third elevation for him. So I believe that is the third. You can only elevate somebody from the practice squad.
Was there
times.
So
he has reverted the last couple of weeks to the practice squad.
Does he have an exemption being part of the IPP, International Player Program?
Think so.
I saw a headline. I didn't read the article, of course, but like.
Oh, the one Dan posted?
I don't know if Dan posted it, but it was like the reason he's able to play while being on the practice squad.
No. He's playing on the practice squad the same reason. He gets elevated.
Anybody else?
Everyone can get elevated 3 times.
Okay.
Now, after that third time, you have to either stay on the roster or you can't go back to the practice squad.
I mean, considering, look, if we were about to sign Cade York, you know, like
Cade York's on the practice squad.
Okay.
So that's my. So the
I guess my point is like just sign him.
Well, no. So the question becomes: are they going to go ahead and just sign him to the active roster, or do they put him back in the international whatever slot and then just elevate Cade York for the last 3 games and get a look at him? I don't know. There's a lot of scenarios.
I would hate.
Dan was talking about it in their Discord, and he brought up some really good points about it, and I'm curious to see how they handle it.
As heady as kickers can be, like as confidence-based as they are, they just let Charlie fucking play, man. I mean, especially like there's not a more perfect way to develop a guy, even if he is in the international player program and has some flexibility left, than to put him out on the real field.
Yeah.
You know, like
no, I agree with you.
Like,
they need to play him.
He's not kicking for the playoffs. You know.
Yeah. And look, if you have any doubts about him, then sign Cade York to a futures contract in 3
perfect.
weeks.
He's got two more indoor games to hone it in, real game indoors, and then you go to Tennessee, where it's probably going to be cold, to get the outdoor environment, the cold weather. Like it sets up perfect for Charlie.
Yeah, we need to see what he's much like we talked about with Shough all year. We need to see what he's got in the live situations, and I think Charlie needs to be the kicker the next 3 games.
Yeah, that was
he's been
no offense to
good,
all you LSU fans that love some Cade York, but it's Smith. It's Smith with a Y. It's him.
Now again, I'm not saying he's the long-term kicker, but I think he's shown enough that he can kick the next 3 games, and then we bring. I would like to bring Smith and Cade York into training camp next year.
I thought for a second we were about to see a 65-yard field goal attempt when Olave had caught that ball that was down at the 48 before Shough ran it up the gut and got killed.
Oh yeah,
it was at the 48-yard line, and I was like,
I'm happy we got the field goal that we got.
I'm happy too, but I thought
I don't need it. I don't need to see if he's Brandon Aubrey.
I was doing the math, and I'm like, yeah.
Right now, look, I want to see Shough get to 6-3. I think that would be incredible. I'll feel great about him going into 2026 if he can somehow drag this pathetic cast of offensive players to 6-3.
For me, I think the receivers we have shown, especially after yesterday, they've shown. I mean, kudos to Austin for showing out. We have enough that Shough can work with in terms of pass catchers.
Okay, if we go to training camp with this same group of receivers, I'm going to be pissed.
No, to like straggle. I bring that up as a preface because for me, and I don't see how it gets better between now and the end, but the guards. It's just sometimes he shockingly had a good pocket to throw from for most of the 4-minute drive to tie the game up. But there are a lot of plays where he just didn't have a shot to get the ball off. So,
look, I'm going to say this though. We need to invest in a receiver, and if that's first round, it might be a first round pick, maybe it's a second round pick, maybe it's a third round pick. We need another young receiver who can be a possible wide receiver 1 down the road. Maybe not year 1, but year 2 or 3 can go ahead and step into that spot and then push Olave to where he needs to be.
Has to be over 6 feet.
Look, my guy, and I've been talking about him all season, is Chris Bell from Louisville. Now, he tore his ACL back in November, and they just announced it last week. This kid, it looks just like A.J. Brown. He's just that thick build.
ACL is
and
risky.
He's got some speed.
It's risky.
He weighs 230 pounds. So now he was trending to be a late first-round pick. Now, realistically, you could probably get him in the second or third. We saw this year Taysom Hill made the quote-unquote miraculous recovery after tearing his ACL in the last or second to last game last year, and he's already back.
I think he's still recovering.
He's playing, so to me, Chris Bell, I think, is only 21, 22.
We still got Bub Means, bro.
Bub doesn't show him shit. Chris Bell has juice, and he also has size. We don't have anyone who has juice and size. Like Vele has been, it's been fun to watch Vele the last couple of weeks. He's got great size. Not that much juice.
Did they say what his injury was?
Something with the arm, I think. I heard he had his arm in a sling after the game.
That's not good. I mean, it's better than a knee or a back.
I'd rather that than like a knee or something.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But look, we have to come out of. There's been a lot of people talking about, go sign Tyler Algier. I don't want to spend $4, $5, $6 million on a veteran running back who's 27, 28 years old. I don't want that.
Yeah.
Last time we did that, you got Jamal Williams, and it was a horrible experience. Give me young blood out of the draft. I need a running back. I need a wide receiver. I need a tight end. And I need some guards. We need some talent. This is why we need all the draft picks. Because we have, I think, what do we have? A first, a second, a third. We should get that second, fourth as a comp. We got 2 fifths and a 6, I believe. So we got 8 picks.
Yeah.
So I think we got eight slices at the pie. Let's we got to get a few more, man. We need to trade Rattler. If you can get a 4th for him or a 5th, take it.
I can already feel the
trade Pete Werner. Get another pick.
Yet another draft. This being another draft where I'm going to stump for a running back in the first round, and much to the dismay of rational thought process. But
I don't want to run it back in the top 10, but I will be open to it once we get to
11.
11. No, look, as stupid as that sounds.
One pick difference. Yeah.
As stupid as that sounds, it's the
I also
truth.
have to determine who's going to be my irrational Georgia homer wish list guy. So far, it's Zachariah Branch because he's fast as fuck. But he's not 6 feet, so it doesn't fit that requirement. But if he's there in the second...
I'd be fine with him in the second round.
Yeah.
But, I mean, again, we already have... You got a Mason Tipton already. It's the same damn... I mean...
Zach's better.
We say this. He hadn't taken a snap yet. You know what I mean? Like, we think he's going to be better, but...
He's going to break the receiving record for Georgia wide receivers. It's pretty significant.
What record are you going to break?
Receptions.
How many does he have?
Like 74.
That's pretty bad, dude. That's y'all's record?
We have not been our WRU by a long shot. I mean, A.J. Green, sure, was great.
That's like a
Pickens,
4-game stretch for an OSU receiver.
Pickens for like a year.
You had A.J. Green. You had Pickens. Yeah, that's bad.
That's probably the best.
Go look at like a Jamar Chase 5-game run, and it's 80 catches.
It is one position I will not even begin to try to debate with any other team. But you come at me with running back, we're going to have a talk.
Yeah, I don't know who I would take from Georgia this year. I'd like Branch in the second round. I don't know. No one's jumping out of.
It's pretty impressive that like we're having this year while having this conversation. I mean, the Dogs are having this kind of success.
Like I don't love Delp. He never lived up to his hype.
Lucky's probably.
I like Lucky.
Going to be better.
But he's probably not going to come out this year.
No, and I thought Gunner was a 12th year senior, but he's got another year of eligibility, so he's. I'm not saying we should take him. I'm just saying like he's gonna.
He's not good.
People will want to stay because of him. Drew Bobo, our center. I don't know if he's got a year left, but he's, like a second, third round. He's really good.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, my top 3 most wanted for the draft is gonna end up being Arvell Reese, Caleb Downs, Jeremiah Love. That's my top 3 guys. And I know it's stupid to talk about taking a running back high, but I don't give a fuck.
At some point, you got to do it. At some point,
I need somebody explosive on the offense who's going to touch the ball and has a chance of breaking.
Look, I totally understood staying the hell away from running back last year when we had, because if we didn't take Banks, we'd be fucked.
You had to take Banks.
So I totally got it last year. But
as upset as we were about not getting like a Jalen Walker or a Tyler Ward, I get it.
You had to
it's
do
a
it.
more important position.
And so with the other positions around him not looking quite as fiery, and Love with an argument to be said that he could be better than Genty, you got to consider it, considering what you've already drafted.
It's just a different player. It's a different style. Like Genty's, it's apples to oranges.
But I mean, the fact that he could be better, and then the other skill positions are worse than they were last year.
Genty, when he's on his second team in 3 years from now, when he goes the route of Saquon Barkley,
when the Eagles trade
like a fourth round pick and get him, and and they ride him to 2,000 yards and probably a Super Bowl.
Roseman's already getting the package together.
Yeah, see, like that's not Love's. I don't think you'll ever see Love rush for 2,000 yards, but he's more the type that could threaten.
He could get like 2,000 total yards.
Right, he could threaten 1,000, like the Christian McCaffrey special.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So. Either way, though, man, if you could pair him with someone, I hate to dismiss Kamara, but even like Devin Neal,
I think
with
Neal
someone
could
explosive.
Spell him fine. Yeah.
Look, I've been very vocal. Neal ideally is a running back 3. If he's your second, I don't love it. I
mean, he's your backup if something goes wrong with the true guy with the juice starter. And otherwise, he can come in on third downs. I mean, he's great in pass. He's exactly.
Ideally, he's not coming in on an important third down. Ideally, that's your guy with the juice.
Yeah, I mean,
Neal's numbers are not good. Like he doesn't have any real speed. He's a good player. I think he's a good blocker. He's a good receiver. He's shown that. He has zero juice. But
like a third and long when you need. I know unless you're, I don't know.
He needs to be at the absolute least. He needs to be your second.
The thing you need in the backfield with you on a third and long is a running back who can block because they're going to be blitzed.
That's fine, but he doesn't need to be on the field in important situations. Like ideally, he's not on the field.
Yeah.
Under our current scenario, ideally,
there's no other option.
Kendra would be running back 2.
Yeah.
Or 1A, 1B with Kamara, and Devin Neal is the third guy.
We have to draft and operate like he does not exist. It's the only option.
He doesn't exist at this point. I mean, he just doesn't.
Hate to say it, but yeah.
You got to draft and operate like Kamara doesn't exist.
True.
You do.
I think it's fair. Yeah.
You got to do the same thing with Devin Neal. Like, you can't. None of those three guys needs to be the primary bell cow guy in 2026.
Yeah.
But I think we've rambled on enough. You got any other closing thoughts before we wrap it up?
Yeah, I mean, I think we should really consider a change at GM.
Yeah, gee, that's a whole nother. We'll let Nick cook on that one. When he comes back, we'll let him go.
Although people are maybe not as hot to trot on getting Loomis out of here with what Shuck's doing.
If Shough hits,
might give him a little.
If he hits, this draft all of a sudden becomes an all-timer. If you get a quarterback of the future at pick 40.
We thought Grandpa had lost his marbles, but it turns out
Grandpa actually might still have that magical touch if Shough hits. So he might have gotten lucky again, like he did. In
it's like they say
17.
They get a little flash of.
Hey man, look, we got to give him his credit when he has the good draft, and this one looks good. An initial viewing.
So far,
so good. So let's hope it keeps.
We're not getting rid of the shirts anytime soon, though.
Hey, we probably shouldn't promote him as much.
Yeah, we got to tell Twitter guy to slow down.
But well, I'm not going to tell him to slow down.
Yeah, that'll do it.
That's all I've got. You good?
I'm good. Till next time, we'll be coming in with a Saints versus Jets preview. It'll be the last game in the Dome as we finish up the year on the road in the Deep South in Atlanta and Nashville. So till then, we'll see what we got in store. Nick will be back. We'll get the final verdict on whether he's come around on Shough.
I know we didn't nitpick Shough enough for his taste, so I'm sure he'll come in hot on the next episode.
Sorry, Nick. I know you're listening, but we just didn't have enough negativity. You got to help us bring us back down to earth here. So we'll find out if he's coming around and the latest on what year he thinks Shough is in his career, because that changes.
He's like a medical hardship 90-year senior.
He's judging him in dog years. But anyway, okay, we'll stop rambling. That'll do it. And till next time, thank you for listening to the 28-3 podcast. Who dat?